12 things poor people do that the rich don't. We realize that many of you are working toward financial success, so we decided to compile a list of things that poor people do to ensure their mediocrity. Please take all of this with a grain of salt and keep in mind that it is only meant to get you thinking about your current position and what you may do to improve it. The problem is that whenever we make a video like this, some individuals will take offense. Make a list of these and evaluate where you might improve in your own life. We checked with some of our own mentors and wealthy friends about some of the distinctions between the poor and the rich in their day-to-day lives in order to develop a list that's actually useful for you guys. There are plenty of exceptions to these norms, as there always are. Although not everyone has influence over their circumstances, being conscious of certain behaviors and activities may provide you an advantage. And who knows what might happen. If you stop doing them, you might be closer to achieving the objective you've always wanted. Here are 12 things that the poor do that the rich don't. Number 1. The poor watch a lot of television. To put it another way, if you have time to watch reality television, you are most likely impoverished. It never ceases to amaze me how much time poor people waste watching pointless television. It's one of those things that captures your attention and refuses to let go. You're probably watching too much television, which is why your life is the way it is. If you know which celebrity is dating whom, and if you watch TV series every week as the episodes air, and if you have a favorite news channel, you're definitely watching too much television. Allow me to explain. Celebrity rumors and hype add nothing to your life. The celebs are the only ones who benefit from it. You could say that rich individuals like to appear on TV rather than watch it. However, I'm now watching The Big Bang Theory, which is a hilarious program. It also aids with my detachment. That's exactly the issue, you disconnect from your problems instead of dealing with them and getting them out of the way. There are rare occasions where, in the words of John Lennon, time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time, but really think about it, should sitting inside watching a screen be something you really enjoy doing? Before we move forward to the second thing poor people do, let me explain what we meant by having a favorite news channel. You might say that the only good reason to watch TV is to be aware of what's happening in the world, staying informed. The problem we're seeing with this is that TV stations are always biased in order to fit their own agenda. Instead, use the power of the internet to get a quick glimpse of what the world is like today and move on to do your own thing. Number 2. Poor people eat fast food. Health is really important, and many poor people have no interest in knowing what's in their food, what an actual healthy meal should look like, or barely know anything about nutrition. Poor people's brains are bombarded with large amounts of sugar and fats that have little nutritional benefit. They are intentionally destroying their bodies, and as a result, they are unable to function to their full capacity. If you're not in good health, it will affect every element of your life, physically, intellectually, professionally, and even romantically. Number 3. Poor individuals purchase on-sale clothing or products. To put it another way, stocks are the only thing you should buy on sale. While the poor seek to save or extend their limited resources, the wealthy seek to increase their earnings. Consider that for a moment. People who could afford to pay full price do not desire the clothes that ends up on sale. By buying clothes on sale, you're just making sure that you're looking exactly like someone who can't afford to pay the full price. Number 4. Poor people wake up later than rich people do in their early years. In the earlier days, poor people are often lazier than the wealthy. We understand that the preceding statement will irritate some of you, but statistically, it is correct. Someone who makes the most of their youth is much less likely to remain poor later in life. Instead of wasting time on unimportant tasks, if you get up late, don't educate yourself. You'll reach a point where you're so far behind what the world requires of you that you'll be miserable. The paradox is that people who do not prioritize improvement in their early years end up working more harder later in life with a low success rate just to keep afloat. Almost all of them Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett and more. Wake up early. Number 5. Poor people are really into sports. The truth is, unless you're a professional athlete or the owner of one of the teams, there's no need to watch sports, or television for that matter. It's a form of escapism from your current situation. Consider it this way. You're putting yourself in a situation where you, as an individual, have no impact on the game's conclusion. This behavior then persists with you, and you wind up becoming a spectator in life rather than a player or an owner. It's at this point that you begin to criticize others, even though you haven't done anything better yourself. 6. Poor people don't shower as often as rich people do. Initially, we thought this was just a made-up fact, but it turns out to be true. And amazingly, it explains a lot when you really think about it. Most of the jobs today are in the service industries where human contact is a must in order to have a successful exchange of value. People who don't have good personal hygiene will in time be less successful than their counterparts. People tend to trust them less. People want to spend less time when they are presents, and all of this has ramifications in their personal life. If people don't like you and don't want to be around you, what kind of partners will you attract? Exactly? It might seem ridiculous, but the first step to success should be an early morning shower. Number 7. Poor people blame others for their misfortunes. How many people do you know that make excuses or blame other causes for their lack of success? Even though some situations are beyond our control, you are in charge of 99% of your life. Keep in mind that you are in charge of your life, your relationships, and your health. You want these to change, do something about it. Life isn't what happens to us, it's what we do with it. It is how we respond to the events that occur in our lives. The poor prefer to victimize themselves when anything awful happens, while the wealthy study it. They want to know what happened, why it happened, and what they can do to prevent it from happening again. While one takes the role of helpless victim, the other sees it as an opportunity to improve. Number 8. Poor people have no money saved. One of the contrasts between the poor and the rich is that the former do not prepare for the future. Having money set aside allows you to expand your business. Let's imagine something unfortunate occurs. If you have money set aside, the situation will be remedied, and you will be able to restart your life. What do you do if you don't end? The issue is urgent? You can either sell an asset, such as your car or home, or you can take out a loan. When the crisis is ended, the wealthy are left in the same position as before, minus their savings. While a poor person's lifestyle has been severely impacted or now belongs to the creditor. Let's have a look at the exact opposite. An opportunity presents itself. Others who have money set aside now have the possibility to expand their life, whereas those who do not can't afford to do so. As a result, the rich become richer and the poor become poorer. Number 9. Poor people use credit cards or take out loans for useless things. One of the main differences between rich and poor is how they make use of credit. The rule is straightforward. Simply put, if you take out a loan to buy something that will not generate more money than the loan, you should not take it. If you're going to use credit, be sure it's for an investment. Do you want to borrow money to buy a big TV? You don't. Want to take out a loan to get the new Supreme gear? You don't. Want to pay for the new iPhone with your credit card? Don't. These products should not be on your credit unless you're flipping Supreme gear for profit or using your iPhone to launch a new app to grow your business. Earn the money first, then spend it. On number 12, you'll discover more about this. Number 10. Poor people tend to have more children and earlier in life. The truth is that children are extremely costly. We've all had a good time making them, or at least practicing making them. However, people become trapped at this stage. They don't believe it to be true. To put things in perspective, if you live in one of the more industrialized countries, raising a child will cost you around $250,000. Poor people have more children and at a younger age on average than their wealthy counterparts, due to a lack of education, a bad environment, and other factors. While the wealthy wait a few years until their living standards improve in order to ensure the right environment and prime conditions for their child to flourish, the poor simply go ahead with it. When the baby is born, the struggle begins. It's nearly impossible for them to progress beyond barely living just to remain afloat. 11. Poor people do not do regular checks with their doctors. We've discussed the significance of health before, but this is a very crucial topic. Poor people do not have their health tested on a regular basis. Let's imagine you develop a tough ailment, such as cancer, by coincidence. If you have regular exams, you'll be able to detect it early on, lowering the expense of therapy. On the other side, if you fail to do so, you may only find out after it's too late. It will cost you and your entire family a fortune, and you may still lose your life regardless of how much money you have. Number 12. People who are poor spend money before they receive it. Spending money before you have it is one of life's greatest pitfalls. Your life starts to spiral down the moment you start borrowing money or acquiring bills before you're able to pay them back. You can't afford it if you don't have enough money for something you're ready to give up without negatively impacting your life. Return to work and then pick it up. If you know someone who is doing any of these, please show them this video.